Wednesday. You are on the Heart of Success show, and I'm your host, Larisa Vakulina. I go live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. South Australian time zone. And here on this show, I'm sharing with you all the tips, tools, methods, motivation, inspiration, experiences, and knowledge. How can you create life that is successful in all areas, right? Well, today I've decided to really share with you an interesting topic, which I not only have a big interest on, but also I've been experiencing and living what I'm going to talk about. So, as you know, maybe some of you don't know, about 10 years ago, I had a illness crisis. And so I really was confused and didn't know what the cause of the problem was. I mean, I knew maybe kind of through the intuition, we all know that there's some sort of disbalance in our life, either in our professional life, in our relationships, in other areas of our lives. So I was in the illness crisis, professional crisis. I was in my life crisis. And 10 years ago, I decided to purchase a space out away from the city, and I purchased a block of land of 89 acres of land here in South Australia. And I started that journey to explore the different aspects of our lives in terms of how we create the illness crisis, let's say, or how do we create unfulfillment in our life? How do we create the lives that we don't really consciously want, but yet we still are creating a big imbalances, and we create a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, a lot of conflict. And that was the area where I just lived my life as we all been taught to actually, either go and work for someone professionally or have your own business, and just, hard working. That was the mantra for me. And I was constantly being involved in different areas of creating and generating income, and basically supporting family. And so when the crisis arrived, I really was really confused, because externally there was success, there was some sort of financial wealth, there was almost like a stability of life. And when you look from the point of view of the successful business life and successful life, you kind of can say that, well, that was a perfect life. But really internally, I was struggling so much, because I didn't really understood why here externally I felt I was so successful. I was a model for many people to actually learn how to become successful in that form of building external acceptance, external wealth, and respect, and all of these things. But internally, I was really in a not right place. I was struggling so much. I was feeling empty. I was feeling unfulfilled. My relationships being unfulfilled. And eventually, of course, all these internal pressures that I felt within, which I didn't want to share with anyone, because I was thinking that there's something wrong with me. Everything externally, outside of me, was perfectly organized, was perfectly working, bringing money, and all of these external symbols of the success was there. Was expensive cars, was all this expensive house and things like that. But really internally, I felt so not in the right place. And these internal forces been so unbearable at some stage. I fall into the depression, anxiety, the panic attacks. And really, that was a journey of a huge, huge confusion, because no one really could explain for me what really happening. The only one resolution that our medical community and the science is offering us is antidepressants, which of course have huge side effects, and I'm not sure if they really giving us a result that we're looking for. So I was in that space, and that external pressure that I had whilst I was having a big, huge success externally, was a big, big contributor into that illness crisis. It was really confusing, and I didn't really understand how that works, and no one really could explain for me. It's like we accepting the normality of something that is not normal. So no one is explaining to us why we achieving, we become successful, we become business leaders or community leaders, and then internally we would feel empty, we would feel really not in the right place, we would feel this all sorts of emotional pain and that discord that eventually accumulates and then exploded into all sorts of different illnesses, right? So that's where I was, and that intuition that told me to buy a lot of land basically completely turned my life 180 degrees, and I turned into a different direction. I resigned from my successful business and I started to explore something that I didn't know. That was unknown territory for me that I really didn't understand. I didn't really know anything about it, but I was open to it because I had a serious illness, and I was open to look at any direction that could explain for me the interconnectedness of what we experiencing as a human beings, what we going through when we're going through our experiences, what really is contributing to our unwellness. So, and when I purchased the property, I also wanted to understand how this environment of the nature can actually help me with my own instability and the crisis, how that can help. We all know nature can heal. Nature can really make us feel really, really, good and vitalized, and maybe bring us balance and calmness and things. But again, I really wanted to learn a little bit more, and I hired a energy ecology environmentalist, the specialist who is working with the external energies, with all the electromagnetic fields, the geomagnetic currents, the underwater currents, and all things environmentally. I really wanted to understand how this could contribute into me healing my cancer, right? So we worked together 10 years ago, and this specialist provided for me a very deep analysis of what's really happening externally on my property. Like there was a map produced with all the negative charged currents, positive charged currents, ley lines, the water currents, and all of these existence that we don't see clearly existing within nature. And if we don't know that it exists and how it affects us, well, of course we live in blind. We really live in blindness for ourselves. We really live in blindness for our children. We don't really have any conscious awareness of what the environment within us and around us. Well, at least we can sense what is going on within ourselves, but externally there's so many different factors that are affecting our well-being and our illnesses as well. So I was working with this person, and we basically created a balance in this property. We created different remedies that we placed around the property, around 89 acres of land, with a number of different remedies inside of the house, outside of the house, and so there've been a number of different also different symbolic remedies that could actually balance the limit of the areas that I had on this property, because in accordance to a very old ancient system of feng shui, there is 9 zones needs to be present in your immediate space in order for you to have the harmony of all the areas existing in your space. Well, in my space, I was missing 3 areas. I was missing the area of communication, area of opportunity, and area of relationship. And I could feel it in my life. I was stuck. My relationship was not healthy. I didn't really see anything in front of me, where I'm going, what I'm doing, where the opportunities are. I couldn't see it. And then, of course, the relationship and communication. So being in a space of not knowing where are you going or how you're functioning and what you're doing, being in a space of illness, I really didn't see any opportunity, and I couldn't communicate this because no one would really understand. Well, then through these experiences of working with a practitioner about an energy ecology, we installed all the devices, and everything in my life changed. I started to see the vision of my life 50, 100 years in advance, ahead of me. I started to really realize that I am here to have my life task. I am here to need to really understand myself on a deeper level so that I can actually help others to go through their journey, and I can share then mine in the sense that I actually lived that, I experienced all of that. So all the remedies that been installed on this property helped me completely to heal my cancer. Number one, this is almost a byproduct of the environment that was harmonized, and that was all aligned with the resonance of the original electromagnetic field of the of Schumann field of the original state, which we all basically need to have in order for us to regenerate the cells, support our immune system, and basically absolutely have our wellness well within the healthy environment. But really what's happening right now is absolute disaster of what we have in externally right now. So I was talking to you and explaining about my internal factors that been affecting my life dramatically and really drove me into the illness crisis. Now I would like to go into the external factors of how all of the technological advances are basically affecting ourselves really dramatically. So back 250 years ago, when we didn't have electricity, so the base level of frequency of the shamanic field was more or less in the range of the organic healthy field. Once the electricity was introduced and all the other technological advances, and now through a number of decades, 20 or 30 decades, we have fast development of many different devices of communication, all of these, microwaves. We have all sorts of devices that are so harmful right now. We basically are living right now in a big microwave, and we immersed in 24 hours a day, months and years in this harmful environment. So I've been going through the personal healing when I actually healed myself through improving our external environment and working, of course, with my internal imbalance. I also decided to study deeply about our inner landscape and our space. And I spent 4 years traveling to America, to Miami, in one of the premier bioenergy and plasma healing school, Barbara Brennan School of Healing. So I graduated it after 4 years. So I've been deeply learning about that inner imbalance in the humans, but also living in the environment that was balanced through the eco energy professional person who helped me to balance it. I am now interested in that external space, and I just done my course, which is so excited. And what I found, the laws of nature applying to everyone, everywhere, on a micro level to the macro level, to the galaxies and planets and all everything, and all the smallest life that we have on this earth, right? So uh, now having this knowledge, and basically the sharing of of the person who actually observed and learned and created all his life the system that can improve our immediate environment, I'm now in a stage where I need to start to practice all that I learned, and also being immersed for 10 years in the space of that improved environment. I can sure help other people to start to look at all these invisible killers from different angle and from different perception. So basically, I invite you to have a look at all of the environment that you live in. It's not only the frequencies of communication and all of this, frequencies of different companies that using, Optus, Telstra, the military frequencies, the frequencies of the forecast weather, frequencies of different, devices, that we all don't know, even on these towers of the towers of the 5G, and all the of the towers we have everywhere around the city. So there's also external factors as the building. Buildings are built right now without any application of the right harmonious sizes and measures. So in the past, that was actually not like that. So in the past, there was a sacred geometry ratios and proportions that were absolutely crucial and detrimental to the well-being of the human beings. So right now, our architecture and all of the building standards don't have any idea of how to use the right harmonious measures and sizes in the buildings, and in building the furniture and all the objects and forms and shapes that we use in our everyday life. So this also creates a very, very strong effect and influence on our cells. So our cells is like a interface between the utilizing this electromagnetic field that the earth is actually producing, the shamanic field, which of course distorted all the levels through. That's already is unhealthy, and also through our own lens of our the thought process, the emotional state, the psychological, the spiritual disconnection, I would say, we have an enormous pressure on our bodies to actually survive in this environment. That is why most of the people are feeling very, very tired. A lot of people feel so very irritable. A lot of people are anxious and overwhelmed. And there's so much of the mental health issues and also the emotional health issues, the psychological problems we have in our society. This is in combination, accumulation of the inner and outer stressors that most of the time we don't really even feel like we have, because it's so invisible. We cannot touch it, we cannot see it, and we think that we are living in environment where we can restore ourselves, but really it's not. So we, in order for us to restore our original space where we can actually restore our bodies, where we can regenerate the cellular matter that is our bodies created from, we need to start to have that conscious awareness and also desire to pay a direct attention to the immediate environment. We are all sensory systems, so you yourself can sense it, can really feel it. But of course there's not many people understand and know how to deal with these distorted frequencies and radiation around us. So that's where the energy ecology practitioners come in, and that's where that analysis can start it. And then there's remedies to actually neutralize all of these the factors of the electromagnetic field. And when the toxicity and the level of the exposure to these pressures of internal and external factors that I'm talking about start to exceed the capacity of your body and capability of your body to restore, well, then of course we have a very grave result. So that's where the organisms start to go to the permanent decline. So, and we have it everywhere right now. Like our medical system, of course, don't know how to deal with all these things. So I'm just really concerned about the state of our external environment, where there is almost 60 meters from the ground level up. There's no organic, healthy human field exists, especially, of course, in the cities. Yes, possibly in the nature, in some remote areas, possibility of the islands of healing, I call them, exists. Like, for example, in my property, when I have this system of antennae and all the remedies that was installed some years ago, it is an island of healing. So, and we need to create as many islands of healing as we can, so that when the critical mass of these neutralizing devices are reached, then the nature will take over and it will deal itself and start to regenerate all of this healthy environment on our earth. So that is really today, that's what I wanted to really share with you. And I am on a stage where I'm going to start to practice and implement everything that I was learning in the course of the energy ecology, and also I'm still creating the Askara method, which will be then presenting to you the inner and the outer knowledge, how you can actually balance all of these forces, the energetic forces, so that you can become absolutely healthy. You can be living for much longer. You become more creative. You become more happier. And when we balance this inner and outer environments and landscapes that we live in, well, then of course, your efforts will be absolutely rewarded by your vibrancy, by your joyfulness, by your health, by your creativity, by enjoying living this precious life. So I would like to thank you for support, and whoever is watching and maybe gonna to reply this episode. So that's very, very exciting journey to start to restore our own health within and without. So stay well, and I come back next week on Wednesday as usual. And right now, I would like to say thank you again and make that day a happy one. Thank you.